Getting our Windows machine set up with the way we would like and to customize that are going to be found in settings. So to go to settings, you're going to click on this bottom left icon of a window, the Windows icon. And you can see here on the side, we have this little gear, and this gear is for settings. The other way to find settings is you can scroll down here to the S's and we'll find settings right there. Finally, you can go to the little notification section over here and you can see that we can go to settings there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do it through the Windows way. All right, now that I'm here, I'm just going to go over some of the key features in settings because we can spend a lot of time in here. One is this thing right here, which is just basically how our display is going to look. Some prefer the text and the images to be a little bit larger and the icons. My preference is 125, but to each their own there. Another thing to be aware of is the power and sleep tab. So not only can you change, the amount of time before your machine goes to sleep, but you can also change what your power button does and what the closing the lid does. So if you're someone who's, grazing the power button because it's on the side of the machine, you can have it so it goes to sleep instead of it shutting down when you graze it by accident and have to wait for it to restart. And then here you could change what closing the lid does as well. Also on this side, we can find the multitasking window. So if you want to use the snap feature, that can be found right here. Okay, next up, we have our devices tab. Now this is where you can add your Bluetooth devices. You can add, you'll see your stylus is connected here. In addition, we have our touchpad, and that's probably one of the biggest things people like to mess around with based on their needs. So there's a ton of stuff to work with here. Again, there's no right or wrong, but if you're someone who got this computer and you're not used to the scrolling, you can go to the scrolling direction, and this is where you'll find that in the touchpad section. And we can change it so the down motion scrolls down. So that's when I scroll down with 2 fingers now, my browser is also scrolling down. However, if you use it the other way, you can leave it as the default setup. We can find our settings here for our stylus. So if we click on the top of the pen, what it brings us to. So if I click once, it's going to bring me to sticky notes. Twice, it's going to bring me to a screen sketch. So, that's a screen sketch, again, is right here. These are those kind of 3 options you have to work from. Okay, going back home, we have our personalization section where we're able to change our background. You can look for an image and find one that fits your needs. And it's worth noting our lock screen here, you can see it is not able to be changed for privacy reasons. And in case it does get lost, people know who it belongs to. Okay, moving along here, just to the key things. In accounts, if we click on accounts, this is going to be where we are able to choose how we sign into our computer. So I'm going to click on sign in options. And then we have the ability to set up facial recognition, and we can set up a fingerprint. When you set up a fingerprint, it probably will take about 3-4 minutes to set up. You're going to place your finger right on that little gray square next to your Intel sticker, and it will be set up that way. So you can log into your computer by just pushing your finger on that little square button. And enabling other sign-in options doesn't disable password sign-in. It just gives you alternatives that you can choose from. Then finally here, we have our apps. So if we want to pick default apps, which means the app, if we open a picture, it's going to be opened in my photos. If I open a link to a website, it's going to be opened in Google Chrome. So this is where you can set those default apps